full transparency, I took a lot of inspiration of this video from a guy named Marley Kerr on YouTube. This is a video that I'm referring to. I saw it, he made a desk for $1,200 out of pallets. So I figured that I'm gonna try to build something very similar, and I didn't want people to feel, oh, you copied me that. I think it's gonna be a fun project. So my first step is to go on to Facebook and see if I can try to find a pallet for free. It should be pretty easy to find a pallet on Facebook. I'm not thinking that it's gonna be that hard, but we'll see. All right, so I just got to where the pallets are, and now I'm gonna load them in the truck. One thing I noticed with these pallets is it seems like they're a little bit thinner than what the video I watched, so hopefully it turns out fine. But instead of needing one pallet, I'm gonna need two. But we're gonna go back to the workshop, aka my garage, and get started on this. All right, so as you can tell, I am now in the wood shop. So the first step is to unload the pallets out of my truck. So I'm gonna do that, and then we're gonna start taking them apart. Alright, so it seems like there are two ways to take apart pallets. One way is to use a cat's paw and actually pull the nails out individually. The other is to take a sawzall and cut all the way up the side. I'm gonna try both, and then depending on which one is faster will be the one that I do. I'm not sure which one yet, but we'll see. So it does not seem like this cat's paw is gonna work. On the first one, you can see it already cracked as I was doing it. I think I'm gonna have to sawzall these because that crack is no good, and if each board cracks, it basically makes your boards useless. So I think I'm gonna have to sawzall. As you can tell, I just finished cutting off my pallet. So the next step is to use this planer. Now for those of you that don't know what this does is it takes the edge off of the pallet to make it like a factory edge. Because right now it's like in and out, so it doesn't really make a square edge. So first, we're gonna use this planer to make the one edge good. I realize that this is gonna create a lot of dust. So I'm gonna take this tube and connect it right there. This is our dust collection in our garage. So I'm gonna connect that so that I'm not making as much dust. But as you can tell, this is a difference. Look how smooth that is. So I'm gonna do the rest of these boards, and then I'm gonna set up the table saw and we're gonna rip it to our desired width. As you can tell, I just finished planing this edge like this on all these pieces. So now I'm gonna set up the table saw. The purpose of using this was now when I run it through the table saw, I have a clean edge so that all the pieces are gonna be perfect. So give me a minute, I'm gonna set up the table saw. I need to move some stuff because the garage is a mess, but give me one sec. Cut all of these pieces at 1 5/8 so that when we put them through the planer, they're gonna end up finishing at around 1.5 inches, which I think is a good thickness of a table. Mostly I just trust my dad because he's actually a carpenter, so he knows a lot more about this than I do, so I'm taking his word on it. When using pallet wood, a problem is there's a lot of nails in them if you don't use a cat's paw, which is why I assume people use a cat's paw. But when you use a sawzall, a lot of times the nails will get stuck in the wood, and when you cut them, they'll kick back at you. So I already got hit in the face by a nail, so I need to go find some glasses so that I don't get a nail to the eye. As you can tell, I'm very, very dusty. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna use a vacuum and we're gonna clean up the workstation so it's back to being clean because I hate working in clutter. So give me one sec. And then we're gonna begin our glue up of all these pieces. I won't be able to finish today because the glue has to dry, but you will see me doing the glue up right after this. I was actually incorrect the last time we spoke. The next step is not to glue up. The next step is to cut all the pieces to the same length. So now I'm gonna cut all of them to, I believe it's 22¼ is the measurement that I have. But I have a lot of pieces to cut. I think I need to cut 50 or so it's gonna take a bit. All of my pieces are cut, so now I need to clear off this table, get some clamps, and we're gonna start gluing all these together. The tricky part is, my planer is only good up to I think 13 inches, so I need to make 4 sections at 12. And then tomorrow I'll eventually glue the 12s together, but for now we're gonna glue 4 sections together on this table. I just finished up the glue up, but I realized I did not cut enough pieces at all. I basically need double this amount, so I now need to repeat the entire process that we had during the first half of the video. So I'm not going to record that because it's just unnecessary, but now I need to repeat this again and then glue all those together. But when I'm taking all these clamps apart, when this is glued together, I will talk to you again, which will probably be tomorrow. So, also, I didn't realize how hard it was to glue these together, how much forearm strength you needed, but my forearms are dead after gluing all these pieces together, because that bottle of glue is so hard to actually get glue out of. I probably should take a razor and clean it out, the tip, but I didn't. But, yeah, gluing this sucked. It is now the next day. The glue seems to be dry. We're gonna take it apart and see how it looks. They seem to turn out fine. The reason why I did them in 2 different pieces is because my planer that I'll show you in a second only goes up to 13 inches, so I made them at 12. So I'm gonna plane these sides individually and then glue them together, and then tomorrow is when we're gonna install the legs and do the perimeter, yada yada yada. As you can tell, this is a planer. This is my first time ever using one of these. So this may go good or it may go bad. As you can tell, I just finished the 4 pieces. The next step is to set up the clamps and glue them all together. And if you didn't see from my dad's hands, my dad is helping me now. Currently, we just reached some technical difficulties trying to join them. I'm gonna have my dad explain it because I really don't know what we're doing.
So, we got these 2 pieces that we want to join, and these were all run through nice and they closed up nice. However, when the 2 butt in the middle, kind of makes a big gap. And so we're going to edge plane that and run that back through so that we get a tighter gap on these. You can see I just edge planed both of these, and here's that gap. Completely almost gone there, so.
finally done setting up, so we're gonna take it apart and begin the final part of our journey of building this coffee table. The next step is to put these two pieces together and then put a straight line along the edge, because all these edges are very jagged. So I marked a straight line here, and then now I need to do the other side, and then we can cut it and put a perimeter on. I got pretty lucky that I think that I can cut this on a miter saw. I just have to flip it over after I cut it once, because the blade will only give me the midway. But that does make my life a lot easier, because then I don't have to set up a whole circular saw, because the wires are all over the place. And I put pressure. So it is now the following day, so we're going to take off these clamps and see how the top looks. Checking out the top, it seems to turn down pretty well. There's a lot of glue, like this seam right here, and it's just overall very, very rough. So I'm going to have to do a shit ton of sanding, and then I'm going to be installing the legs. So I will talk to you guys after I'm done installing the legs and doing all of the sanding. So as you can tell, the table is now done. But you guys can't see it very well, so I'm going to give you guys a few shots and let you guys see what it looks like. My goal with this piece is to actually sell it, and if you're seeing this video, it's sold. I'm not sure what I'm going to list it for, but I'm excited to make more projects for you guys. So check out some of our other videos, make sure to like and subscribe. And yeah, see you next time.